All right, y'all. We can go ahead and get started. First things first, I appreciate all y'all for coming today. My name is Frederick Towler, and this is actually one of my first presentations, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited at the same time. So I appreciate y'all. My session today will be on there is power in social media. Okay, so I have a question for y'all. When I say there is power in social media, what comes to mind? What comes to mind when I say that? Anybody? Opportunity. That's a good one. I want to hear two more responses. Two more responses. There's power in social media. So I got opportunity. Anything else? Anything else? I feel like you got something for me. Okay. Okay. So opportunity. Perfect. So opportunity, more control, influence. Okay, I love those. So opportunity, more control, and influence. So that is actually amazing. So I like those three. So when I hear there is power in social media, I hear that there is power in how we choose to show ourselves to the world in a sense. Because I'm a little bit of the newer generation in my opinion, a little bit. So I actually just turned 25 on Sunday. So yes, I just turned 25 on Sunday. So I actually grew up on social media. I grew up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is a big one now, all that type of stuff, being connected with everybody through our phones and things of that nature. So when I started getting really heavy into church, because when I was younger, I wasn't in church as much as I would have liked to. I didn't have a dedicated church to myself. But now that I'm actually older and I'm actually in church, I can see the actual power in social media and the power in reaching people that's not necessarily in the pews every day. Because something that I see, especially with my generation, is unfortunately a lot of us are saying that church might be too long, or they might be saying like it's not as exciting, or or they might be saying like it's not necessarily a space for them in certain capacities. Because for someone like me who might not be the best singer, or like I might not run around the church as much when I get filled with the Holy Spirit, sometimes I can feel like I might be out of place in a little bit of a sense. But luckily, through social media and things of that nature, I've been able to see where I can really fit in. For example, a little bit of background information about me is I'm a photographer. I've been doing photography for 4 years now. I actually went to Old Dominion University in Norfolk. That's where I found my love for photography. I went up there for graphic design at first, but I wasn't the best graphic designer. So I actually picked up my camera up there, and it's been amazing. It showed me so many different things. It showed me so many different people, so many different ways to connect with people. And through photography, I actually found a new love of shooting sports and things like that. And I found a new love of capturing moments in ministry, because a lot of things that we don't see in ministry is those breakthroughs. Sometimes we don't see those moments where people are people are really fighting certain things that have been holding on to them for so many years. They really have those intimate moments, and that's actually something that I've been able to capture, which is beautiful. And in capturing those, I've been able to help my church extend further. So I'm actually a guest in this church. This is my first time walking in here. It's a beautiful church for whoever home church is. Beautiful church. I go to Gates of Faith Ministries. It's about it's about 15 minutes from here. It's about 15 minutes from here. And one thing that my church has done a lot this year, like our motto this year is being all out. And being all out means we're doing some amazing things in the church. We have something called Powerful Living Academy. That's where we break up into groups in the morning. We do our men perfecting men, women perfecting women, the youth services, things like that. And we come together at our different age groups, and we really sit and have those conversations about what are some things that we need to do as our age groups, some things that we can do to perfect each other. And in doing that, I have been able to help my church broadcast that. And in helping them broadcast that on social media and things like that, we have brought in so many more new members. Because when my church first got started, it got started kind of like small knit because it was kind of a family church. Some background information about my church is it started around a kitchen table with the founder and first lady. They started the service around a kitchen table with just their family, and that's how it got started. But over time, it got bigger and bigger through the family. But now, as time goes on, everybody gets a little older. We have to reach out to a new wave and new generation of people who might not necessarily know about our church as much, but they are on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, not Facebook as much, mostly on Instagram and TikTok and things like that. So Twitter's a really good one. Twitter can get a little interesting sometimes, but Twitter's a very good one if you can cultivate it correctly. Oh, my bad. But yeah, Twitter's a good one if you can cultivate it correctly. So luckily, since I've been back from school, I graduated in 2023. I was able to find my place in the church through the media ministry. Something about the media ministry is that through my camera, we have been able to not only broadcast our net of people, but we've been able to reach people that we would have never thought we could reach before. For example, this is something I feel like has been amazing for us. For example, we were able to reach people in North Carolina, we were able to reach people in South Carolina, even some people in Texas and Florida, just because they've been seeing what we've been doing in the ministry. We've been able to be truly all out. And like I was saying before, I'm not our graphic designer, but our graphic designer does an amazing job because he now has access to the photos I'm able to take and give to him so he can make our social media page more present and things of that nature. So I know I talked a little bit about me being a photographer, but one thing I want to say is that you don't need a fancy camera to start your social media ministry. So quick question. Everybody got one of these? Everybody got a phone? Everybody got a phone in their hand, right? He got two phones, double content. But everybody who has a phone, right? You have what you need right there to start capturing those moments in your church, to start capturing life, to start making the content that is needed for your ministry to grow. That's all we need right there is a phone because, like, y'all have all met AJ, right? AJ is a great guy. But he said something that was amazing in what he was saying just now, that content is capturing life as it happens. Some people have made entire brands for themselves just by picking up their phone and capturing their everyday life. And you might think, I'm just living. This is me. I'm coming to church. I'm doing my thing. I'm praising the Lord because God has sacrificed so much for me. I'm coming to do my thing for God. But someone can see that and someone can get inspired by that. That's something that I didn't think was possible. That people can get inspired by seeing you show up every weekend, seeing you show up at Bible study, seeing you show up in the place where the Lord is, and that makes them want to come more. And we think that we need. Hold on. Sometimes we think we need this. This is great to have. Don't get me wrong. I love this so much. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I love this right here. But some people think that we need the fancy camera to make the content to build the social media. But right now we have it in the palm of our hand. In the palm of our hand. And now sometimes the quality might not be the best on certain devices, but you still have something to show people that you're in the building, that you're there, that you want them to see what's going on. Okay? So that's one point I have for y'all. Let me go to my other point. Okay. So another point I wanted to come to is that even though we do have their social medias that we can use to reach people, we also have to be careful with social media sometimes as well. Because, for example, please table do not fall. Okay, I want to sit down for a second. So, for example, social media is a great place and it is open to everybody. So sometimes we do broadcast our love for God because we love God, but sometimes we can get a little bit of backlash from people who don't quite understand why we love God so much. And social media is a place that we can use to educate people. Sometimes we need to educate people on what's going on as to why are we so excited? Why are we so on fire for God? Why is this somewhere we come to all the time in our own free time? And that's something we actually want on social media. We want people to ask the questions. We want people to say, what's going on? My bad. We want people to say what's going on. We want people to say, how come everyone is so excited? Even when people are going through real trials and tribulations, they still come to this place to feel a freedom, to feel like someone has their back. What's going on there? That's what you want to happen. For example, on social media, right? My pastor does something called Fresh Yes every Sunday. And he gives kind of encouragement in the morning and gives a Bible verse for the day of how things are gonna go. He does that every day at 7 a.m. That might be some people's first time hearing a sermon, hearing a small sermon of the day. That gives them the motivation to continue to move forward, to continue to grow, to continue their day is better because they hear him. And if I'm being honest, I might not catch it every day. But the days that I do catch it, I try to catch it every day. The days I do catch it, it's so uplifting, it's so amazing. But if he felt like he needed something fancy to capture it, he might not do it. He does it every Sunday morning on his camera, on his iPhone. It's a quick check-in with everybody to be like, hey, this is what's going on. You should be encouraged. This is the Bible verse of the day. Move forward from here. I think that is an amazing thing that he does on his iPhone. I think that's amazing. I have my points on my phone. That's why I keep picking my phone. I have my points on my phone. All right, cool. So another thing that I would like to talk about is through social media, we can do something called we can create our own communities. And what that means is on social media, have things called these algorithms. And the algorithms are mostly people who interact with your content, who like content like this. They will constantly see the stuff that you're producing. And in them seeing that, you will start to build a community or a following of people who are on fire for God, who are enjoying the holy content that you're putting out, who are enjoying everything that you are offering for them. Because something that I've realized, something that I've saw is in this generation, we consume things in smaller doses. That's something that I've actually noticed. We might not be able to sit through the longer live streams, even though they are absolutely amazing and absolutely beautiful. Sometimes it's a study that shows people have an attention span of about 30 seconds. About 30, 40, 30 seconds. So if you can catch somebody's attention in about 30 seconds with something that is like impactful or something that is like eye catching, that's amazing. And that's how the community starts to grow on social media. Because you catching them with like the 30 seconds, 45-second videos of the clip of the sermon that you thought was real good. Like you thought Pastor said something real nice right here. You clipped it, put it on social media, it goes viral. Now, after it went viral, you got people following your page now. You got people coming every day to figure out, okay, I like what Pastor said right here. Let me hit this follow button. Let me join this church virtually and see what's going on. So now you get them from your 30-second content. Now you might get them over to the reels. You know what I mean by reels are on social media and things like that. You can post like videos. It can be like, I think upwards of like 90 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. 90 seconds. So now you got them from your shorter form content, 30 seconds, got them over to your reels now. And they're like, okay, I like it here. Okay, so now we got them. Now we got them on the 90-second content, about a minute and a half. So now they're gonna switch over from the reels. So now they might come to YouTube. Now we're getting into that longer form content. Okay, we're going from 1 minute, 30 seconds. Now we might go to YouTube. YouTube might be a whole sermon, might be upwards of 30 minutes. So now we've taken them from kind of interested to now they've kind of joined the community a little bit in reels. So now they're on YouTube. When they get on YouTube, they really love the church. I don't know if y'all ever been on like churches YouTubes. They're pretty cool. So now they're in the live streams. And now you know what happens after the live stream? They're like, I've been watching church virtually so much. Now let me actually come in the door. So now we went from kind of interested to let me see what they got going on to I like this church to now I'm in the door of this church. And it all happened because we caught them on social media with a 30-second clip. And now we just made our church bigger and made our community bigger. That sound pretty good. I like how that sound. I like how that sound a lot. Cause that's how a lot of churches are gonna grow now. Like, yes, we're gonna grow by going out into the world, evangelizing and stuff like that, meeting people outside, telling them to come in. But one way that we're gonna grow faster and grow wider is by capturing the people on their phones already. People spend so much time on their phones. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go to my screen time. I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. I know my screen time is probably crazy. Let me go to my screen time real quick. Oh Lord, why am I doing this? I'm about to expose myself. Mm-mm-mm. Go to my screen time. Oh Jesus, there it is. I'm gonna give my phone to my lovely girlfriend. She's gonna find my screen time for me so I can keep talking, so I'm not just distracted for a second. But when she finds that, I know my screen time is gonna be kind of crazy, but that goes to show that people actually are on their phones. I know for a fact I spend a good amount of time on TikTok. That's why we need to make us a TikTok because we have a lot of youth in our church. And that's the one thing about having youth in your church that is actually very, very beneficial because the youth knows what the youth wants to see. That is a key when it comes to social media and having youth in your church. That's actually a cheat code. The youth let your youth in your church have your social media department for a week. For a week, it's going to be so amazing. The youth in my church, a lot of them be quiet. They be kind of like checked out sometimes, but you give them a phone, tell them take some pictures of what's going on or take some videos of what's going on, you will see a different side of them and they will have so many creative ideas and you will have so much content because they know what they like to see. That's something I had to learn myself because I ain't want to give the kids my cameras. But they found so much enjoyment and now they're being more interactive in the service because they are actually doing something and they're seeing their work be produced in the social media. So not only are we having content to post, but now we're having our youth in the church feel like they're a part of the what's going on. They're a part of the growth. So now we got everybody being a part of it. Not only are we having the content being pushed out so we can bring more people into the church, we have our youth that's not no longer sitting in the pews, kind of like chilling, tired, just looking. They're actually helping. They're excited to come to the Bible studies. They're excited to come to the Sunday services because they are a part of what's going on. Oh, we didn't find my screen time. We didn't find it. I got lucky. But I know last time I checked, it was probably like 10 hours a day. Yeah. Let me go to my second point. It's all good. Okay. So I like this. I like this point right here. So this next point I have is that the message that goes on in church, it needs to be broadcasted more. And we need to add more positivity to social media. In church, I feel like we talk about some very amazing things. We talk about, specifically in my church, we talk about financial literacy. We talk about being able to forgive. We talk about dealing with grief. We talk about some real life things that go on. And a lot of that on social media isn't necessarily talked about. The thing about social media is, unfortunately, social media is sometimes a highlight reel of what people want to show you. A lot of people on social media, they don't show you the bad that goes on. They don't show you what they actually deal with in their real life. They don't show you the things they struggle with. They don't show a lot of that. But in church, something I really, ooh, I was saying something good. I was saying something good. That's why that happened. So in church, we actually uncover a lot of that. We pull back those layers of vulnerability. We pull back those layers of I'm so tough where I can't cry. We broadcast that. We broadcast that the love. We broadcast the community. We broadcast that God sacrificed so much so we can even be here right now. We broadcast that. And that needs to be shown more on social media so people don't feel as lost. Because this generation, a lot of us are lost sometimes. And we feel like we don't have anywhere to turn. A lot of us feel like we don't have anyone to talk to sometimes. Specifically, a lot of men, we feel like we don't have someone to talk to a lot of times. But when it's like broadcast when it's broadcast in the church, specifically when it's broadcast on somewhere positive, it starts to feel like we're not as alone. You understand what I'm saying? That's something I've found myself really like capturing in our church services. I capture those moments where it's real community. I capture those moments where someone has a shoulder to cry on. I capture those moments where someone is getting delivered. I capture those moments where a child is being uplifted. I capture those moments where someone might be in tears and someone actually comes in, lays a hand on them, or they actually are there with them in that moment. Because I feel like that needs to be broadcast more. I feel like that positivity needs to be shown more. I feel like that really helps us. I feel like that shows people we're real. Because sometimes something that I've talked to a lot of my friends about, and I feel like I've talked to a lot of people around my age, they feel as if they come in church, they might be judged. They feel like if they come in the sanctuary and they might not be dressed to the nine, or they might have tattoos, or their hair might be dyed a different color or something like that. They feel as if they might not be accepted in. And and sometimes that be the case in some places, unfortunately. But what I like to broadcast is everyone is accepted. Everyone has a place. Everyone can come into the sanctuary and be loved. And that's the community I try to build through social media. That is the acceptance that I try to show people through social media, that in this house right here, in this church, in this space, you don't have to worry about being shunned away. You don't have to worry about not being accepted and things like that, because we got you. We got you. And the more people that can be shown to, the more people that know, like, okay, I don't have to be scared to come into the service. I don't have to be scared to love God. Because that's another thing I noticed about my generation. A lot of us are scared to say out loud that we love God. We're afraid that if we say it out loud, we'll be outed by our friends. Some of our friends won't want to hang out with us that much if we don't, go with the flow. But in showing through my pictures and my videos that we got young people in the church right now who love God. They love God. We got young people in the church right now who's praise dancing. We got young people in the church right now who's being like ushers, who got youth ministers and stuff like that. You got young people who really putting the work in for God and things like that. That's gonna show someone else on social media, I could do that too. This person might not have never met me in person, but just because I'm around their age, they're like, yes, I can do that. And all they started by seeing was a 30-second clip of me saying how much I love God. Then they went to the reels. They saw me on the reels saying, I love God, come to church. Then they came to the live stream. I love God, come to church. You should be here. And now they in person with me. Me and this person ain't never met, but they saw me on social media. It all comes full circle. So when we hear there's power in social media, like y'all said earlier, there's opportunity. There's opportunity to meet people that you've never met, to touch somebody you've never came in contact with. A person came to me one time and they said, hey, I'm here because I saw your video. Your video spoke to me. Your video showed me that I can come to church. I never thought to come to church, but I seen your video. It did something to me. It touched me, and I came. That was absolutely amazing. That's when I knew what I was doing was beneficial. My pastor tells us all the time, us as a media team, he tells us all the time, like, hey, I get compliments every day that y'all are doing an amazing job. That our mission to be all out is actually working because y'all put the time in to be all out. Y'all put the time in to show the world what we actually have going on. I think I got one more point. I think I touched on all my points actually. Okay. So I think I touched on actually most of my points. So before I start to wrap up, because I wasn't going to talk the whole time, the whole hour would have been a little long. But before I actually wrap up, do anyone have like any questions or do y'all use social media in y'all churches and things like? Is everybody at this church? Okay. So what churches are y'all? What's y'all home churches, if I may ask? Anyone can say.
Amy Zion Church. Gullah Memorial, Amy Zion Church in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Today.
Yesterday.
Nice. How's it going?
Not bad. A little rain.
A little rainy. You know, I was coming from the DR earlier this week, me and her. We couldn't land here because it was storming. I had to land in Raleigh, then we had to drive back. It was crazy. It's crazy. You said, where's your church at?
I'm at Life Changers Church in Chicago.
In Chicago. You came all the way here? Thank you. Good to see you. What's your home church?
First Union Deal Road.
Deal Road. That's here? Okay, cool. Where's your home church at? Where's your home church at, sir?
Beulah United Church of God, Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn. What you got down here? How long a drive was that? About 6 hours. Not bad. What about you, man? Not bad. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Jesus, I appreciate y'all for coming out here today. So we all go to different churches. Well, not all of us, but we have different churches and things like that. So, in y'all churches, what do some of y'all social media teams do? Do y'all have like a social media ministry at your team, at y'all church? What's some good things that you feel like y'all do? Nice. Okay. Got you.
We have all the components in place, right? We don't have this full understanding of how to reach that individual.
Okay.
Get a lot of really good points as far as how to make it more palatable, make something that's quick, make something that grabs you, something that looks and visually appealing. And I think that spells to some of the things that we hear back in conversations. As far as strengths, like I said, we've got top of the line.
Nice.
I'm over the media, but I'm really the minister of music.
Nice.
So I just oversee their process and they work incredibly hard to make sure that everybody kind of stays in line.
Okay.
We'll call, right? But I do all of them.
Nice.
I say though, the person that takes care of our lives and she does all our screaming and stuff like that. No. And she got the full deal off. one, yeah. Request that she is capable to even remote and she's not even doing it.
Nice.
Yeah. Take her jump back home here.
Oh, that's dope.
And service during the week where I can go back to and operate a lot of stuff and did
Oh wow.
and I'm gonna move from the house and so she goes, that's okay, I have to move in on
That's what AJ was doing when he came in here and checked on that. He was doing it from his room. See, I don't know how to do all that stuff yet. I didn't learn that portion yet. But that's really dope. And something that I found out that catches people's attention when you do those like shorter clips, have like a caption going, because what keeps people's attention sometimes on a video is having something visually moving that they can like see, because it gives them something to like look at. Because sometimes just seeing somebody talk isn't really amusing, but seeing like a caption, like they're seeing kind of something flashing, kind of keeps their attention. That's something I've noticed. Mm-hmm. How about you? What's something that your social media team might do at your church that you might like?
Social media thing. I don't know if like I'm saying I mean capture all that we're running involved, and I think maybe we can be better at like advertising some of the other things that we do, like some of the issues and some of the missionary type of stuff. You know, I think they would like talk about the message and getting those out about what's pastor said, but kind of having a common church. I don't know what to do with that. And I think, you know, I think that's probably what people want to like, hey, I love that we're getting to this country over here and you're getting the Haiti and we want to get involved. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to get solar power behind it. Different people.
It's cool.
I think that's something that we could probably do better. Let people know what we're doing and have kind of join in.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Something that I feel like has been very helpful, like you said, showing people what's going on in the church, is also showing people that you can have fun at church too. Some people think church is, don't get me wrong, church is something that is serious, because having your relationship with God and things like that is very serious. Like it's something that you should love with all your heart and actually work for. But you can also have a lot of fun in church. And I don't think some people understand that. I have great times at church, especially like with the young adult experience. We have a young adult experience at our church. It's I think from 18 to 30 or something like that. It's like that age range. We had a paint night. Paint night was great. And like we made a clip about it. We made a video about it. I took pictures of it. It was amazing. And it's something that we put out because we was like, okay, let's show people what we're actually doing other than just coming for service on Sunday. Because that, unfortunately, that's something I've seen a lot of people post about, is only their service, like only clips from just what pastor's saying. But the church is a lot more than just Sunday mornings. The churches, they might have like basketball tournaments, might have field days, might have actual Bible studies, might have all types of stuff, but people don't know what your church evangelism. People don't know what your church is about if you only show them a small portion. Mm-hmm. People love bloopers. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. And that's I like that a lot, because when you can show that sense of humor, you can show that humanity, that breaks down a wall that people are like scared of. Because some people, like, for example, some people don't want to come talk to the pastor sometimes because they feel like the pastor's that's pastor. They don't want to have a conversation with him. Our pastor is very funny. Our pastor and first lady are great people. Like they're amazing to talk to, and they're very funny. And it's like sometimes if you don't show that openness, some people think like there's no openness there, and that could be very scary to people. But okay, as I'm wrapping up though, so I wanted to touch on a few points as I'm wrapping up. So one, social media is a tool that can be used to reach an audience that is not as accessible to you every day. Social media is a tool that can be used. 2, show your viewers that church can be fun sometimes. Show your viewers that church can be fun. 3, have different forms of content for everyone who ingests content. Have a short form under 30 seconds for people who need it like kind of quickly. Have a medium form that's about your minute and a half videos, or those are your reels. Then you can have the longer form, that's your live streams, that's your YouTubes and stuff like that for the people who are now a part of your community. And the last point I want to touch on is start. You can start with your phone, you can start with a camcorder, you can start with live stream, you can start. We all have the power in our palms to do this social media thing and grow our ministry. We got it. So y'all go out to y'all churches, give them the good ideas, and we'll go from here, okay? Oh, my bad. Oh,
Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Jada. I was gonna say, even with the phone, a lot of things that I found helpful as well. Just we're focusing on videos and things like that, but a picture as well. Like sometimes we'll lean in and just, have a little quick 30-second time built into service, like, hey, selfie, or especially if we do like youth Sundays, sometimes we did like Jersey Sundays or something like that, different themed Sundays, the Black History, where we come in our African regalia, things like that. Just a quick selfie and hashtag. Hashtags go a long way as well. So I was gonna say that as well. Taking pictures and selfies and sending them, maybe emailing them to the media team at the church, and they find a way to maybe either make a collage of photos or even like a little 30-second slideshow of just the different pictures from the people's point of view. You might have a whole row with your whole family on the pew. You might have second where you can maybe 30 seconds of find someone and shake hands with someone you've never met before, because a lot of times we do come into church and we sit with our people, or we sometimes it can feel cliquish at times depending on if you have a smaller congregation or a bigger congregation. So I think utilizing just taking out the phone and selfie, something like that can just meet a new friend, meet a new face. And sometimes you might flip through your phone, oh, there go sister so-and-so. I might not have known them then, or there go brother so-and-so, but hey, I had a selfie with them a few Sundays ago, and now here we are, serving on this ministry together. So I just wanted to share that as well, taking pictures and hashtags and being sure to forward them to the media team, because they're going to then produce it in the way that's best for the church. Like you said, that control of how to post everything. But I think that's a great tool that's also can be used as well.
I almost forgot to take pictures with the people, but yeah, she had a great point. So you can use all those points, all those things to go back to your home churches and just give them those ideas and go from there. I appreciate all y'all for listening to me. Appreciate y'all on the live stream. Y'all have a good day. Okay.